Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2020. As we have now descended into a new year, I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of reflect and recap on what's been going on in the Chelmsford property market over the last year. So, for those of you who subscribe to our YouTube channel or look at our Chelmsford property blog regularly, you'll kind of know that we very often post out sort of handy hints and tips on sort of the buying and selling process. Also some little gems or kind of buy-to-let deals of the day you might be familiar with, just helping investors out there who are looking for their next property to add to their empire, just to kind of give some advice and help out where we can in this property market, because it can be a jungle out there and it's always good to have someone holding your hand and guiding you through, and we as property experts hope that we are the ones to do that for you. What I would like to be doing over the course of the next few weeks or so is I'll actually be revisiting some of those buy-to-let deals that we did way back when in the beginning, and kind of seeing where are they now, you know, what kind of improvements have been made to the properties, capital growth, and just sort of hopefully show some success stories out there, and show that there is a good time, and it is a good time to be an investor in this market. We'll also continue with the hints and tips on how to buy or sell your property in this market, and as I said before, just to hold your hand and guide you through the process and help you achieve your property dreams, because that's what we're here for. For now though, let's recap the wonderful year that was 2019. So we'll start at the top and kind of look at average sale prices. So we're all interested in, what properties are selling for. Even if you're not thinking about moving, people just like to be nosy and know what's going on in their area. So I've just picked out all the Chelmsford postcodes and kind of looked at what numbers and what prices properties have been achieving and where we are year on year, because again, it's good to know whether we're up or down. So overall, you'll be very happy to hear that property prices are up, which is fantastic news. It's not all doom and gloom out there. Of course, there's always a bigger picture to look at, which I will reveal to you. But overall, property prices are up 1.6% year on year. So a small increase, but an increase nonetheless. Now, if we break those sort of properties down, if you like, the different types of properties. So looking first of all at flats. Now, this actually surprised me somewhat. Flats are actually where most of that increase has come from. Flats have seen an increase of 1.32% to be exact, and considering the number of apartments on the market, that was a bit of a shock to me, because you think with higher property amounts, generally that makes prices more competitive, but overall they're still up. That could potentially be down to the fact there's been a lot of new build in Chelmsford, and of course new build naturally has higher selling prices, so that potentially is where that is coming from. Moving on to terraced houses. Terraced houses unfortunately have seen a very slight dip, marginal, negligible really, 0.19% of a drop, so really not much in it. Personally, I would say that's stayed the same. Semi-detached houses are down the biggest, and down by 1.22%, so that's again a bit of a shock there. And I think that may become a little bit clearer as I move on through this video, potentially why that may be. And then detached houses, somewhere in the middle, they've dropped by almost 1%, 0.94 again to be exact. I like the specifics. Now, transaction numbers, this again is where it gets interesting. We've all been talking about a tougher market, and it's hard out there, or a lot of agents talk about how hard it is. We don't like to join the crowds, but it has been a different market, is how I would say it. Now, year on year, transaction numbers are actually down by 7% compared to the end of 2018, with 2,000, I've got my numbers here, 2,806 sales having been achieved in the Chelmsford area overall. So it sounds a lot, but say it is still a little bit down year on year. And again, I've broken that down into the different property types in the area. So interestingly, the percentage of detached houses to sell in the area, there were 29% of the makeup there of the numbers. There's not a huge amount in the difference between the property types in all fairness though, so just referring to my notes. That was closely followed by semi-detached houses at 26%, terraced houses 22% of the market, and finally apartments make up 21% of the market. So to me that just kind of shows that Chelmsford's got a very well-rounded property market. Properties of all types are selling, which is fantastic really, and that's just because we're such a diverse area, I believe. You know, you've got lots of different types of people moving here, both locally and outside of the area coming in, and that's again why we've got this well-rounded market. Now, over last year we did see a dynamic shift in the Chelmsford property market. We'd been very spoilt in the area, and you know, we were very much what we call a seller's market prior to last year, where you know, literally you would think about putting a property on the market, it would sell instantly, whereas last year, and probably sort of a little bit of the year previous to that, it did start to change. Now, we're now in what we call a buyer's market. And what that essentially means is that there's a lot of property on the market, and there's a lot of choice for people. So that means that buyers can take a little bit more time to make a decision. They'll view as many properties as they can before they make that decision. So it's just taking a little bit longer than what we've been used to. It doesn't mean that properties are not selling. Quite the opposite. In this market, there is no reason why a property shouldn't sell. It hinges on two things. Two magical things. No, they're not magic things really. It's your price. You need to make sure you have a competitive marketing price and a good marketing strategy, and that's something that we as property professionals are there to guide you through to make sure we get you the best price for your property. And then marketing as well. There's not enough attention put on marketing. I see so many details online where they're just shocking, absolutely shocking. You know, awful photos. If your property looks awful online, why is someone going to book a viewing on your property? So more than ever, getting your details and marketing online right is imperative. Those two things combined should get you sold and moving. More importantly as well, your agent, your person selling your property, hopefully us, but your agent needs to know what your needs are. What do you need from your move? What are you looking for? What's your next step, and what we can do to make that happen? And importantly as well, the buyer's needs. If we know our buyer's needs and we know your needs, we can pair the two up. It's not rocket science. It's just about listening and doing what we're asked. The feeling this year so far, I know we're in a few days in, but the feeling this year so far is actually really positive. We have had the busiest early start to the year than I think we've had in a long time. There seems to be a lot more confidence back in the market. The phone's ringing a lot. People know we're calling out on our sort of registered people, and you know, everyone's answering the phone. They're keen to know what's coming on the market. So the feeling is positive out there. So one thing I would say is, if you are looking or thinking of selling this year, do it sooner rather than later. Don't just sit and wait and see. Any time is as good as any. Of course, there's always going to be better times of the year, some ups, some downs, but overall, you know, if someone is hot and they're looking to move straight away, they're not going to wait for a certain time of year. So if you're thinking of moving, you need to get on the market. Hopefully you have found this very long-winded, I must say, a market update of interest. If you have any questions, or you know, you'd just like to cover some areas that maybe I haven't discussed today, we'd love to hear from you. So please do get in touch. And also as well, if you're looking to sell or move or buy, give us a call. We're here and we're happy to help. We'd love to hear from you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you have a fabulous time. Happy New Year to all of you, and hopefully we will speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.